welcome to Add More Zest. It's Rebecca, also known as 4Kids at 147. So for tip and trick number 4, this one has been discussed a lot over our June whip and waffle, but one of the sort of big things at the moment is using glue dots instead of wax in your pen. So you can get wax in pink, blue, I'm sure there's other colours, but the main ones tend to be this pink colour that you get in with your diamond painting pens, and you find that you have to refill it quite a bit, sometimes more than others. It can depend on the heat, it can depend on how hard you press down on your diamonds, but you can often find that you fill it up, you know, the odd time while you're having a diamond painting session. Now, glue dots have become a recent thing to use in a diamond painting pen, and it doesn't need refilling anywhere near as much as the wax. So I have been having a little, bit of a try and test with a few. So I primarily use these everlasting tips, though these glue dots do work in any. But I used 2 micro glue dots, so these are 3 mils in width. I popped 2 in the pen and it lasted for ages. Now what I did find with these tips is, the wax can sort of push down, and it compacts itself a bit more with the action of putting the diamonds down. So I did find that while 2 micro glue dots worked for quite a while, I did then find it wasn't picking the diamonds up, and that wasn't because it wasn't sticky, it was because it had sunk too far into sort of the pen tip. Now these do have a stop. Have I got one of them that's, yeah. So I have one here. I'm not even sure if you're going to be able to see, but inside there it does stop at a certain place. It's not like it can go all the way to the bottom of the tip. It is only a small amount, but I did find that they compacted. I now have 4 of the micro glue dots in here, and it's at a really nice place at the moment to be able to pick diamonds up. I've been using this pen. I started using it at the beginning of doing a 40 by 50 diamond painting. I haven't quite finished it yet, but I'm still going on the same glue dots. Now, yes, I have put extra ones in the top, so that may make a little bit of a difference, but that was more because they went too far into the pen because of compacting down, more than they were losing their sticky. So that's what I've done with that one. With this one, I have just, and that is just before this camera, I have put in a mini glue dot. Now these are 5 mils in diameter, or 3/16 of an inch. And that one at the moment is showing as sort of sticking out a little bit. It will push down, but then it does pop itself back out. So I'm thinking that is probably more the amount that you'd need, if you let it compact itself down further. That would probably be a pretty decent size for this type tip. Now there are a few different ways that you can put them in to the tip. So what I did do, which ones are these? Oh, they're the micro. No, I wanted the mini. I'm going to try the mini. So there's a couple of different ways. Let me find, where's my roll? There we go. There we are. So what you can do is if you wrap it over the top of your finger, say, and hold it, is you can start it going into the tip and then just keep twisting and pushing, and it will actually sort of twist itself inside the pen tip, and then you may just need to move it up a bit and push it down a bit just to get those bits from around the edges. And that's how I did it to sort of get the tip so that it was sticking out a little bit. What you can also do, if I grab another one, because I have been busy taking wax out of my pen tips. Some people did say that if you take the wax out, that it doesn't stick as well, but I've not found that, especially not with these everlasting tips. As long as you get all the wax out, it's been fine. So what some other people do is take the glue dot off and sort of roll it in on itself and then pop it into the tip. So you don't tend to get as much round the sides, but that doesn't fill the tip as much. I'm not sure if it will even focus or you can see, but there are gaps around that glue dot. Now, whether that is because, you know, it's not compacted as much. Let me see if I can get another one off. And I'm still using the mini glue dots on this to give it a go. Let's try putting that into a ball, more of a ball than a... And then that doesn't seem to want to drop in as much, but it is filling a little bit of the gaps. And that seems to have taken 2 to get to the same point. Now, it may be the way that I've been putting them in, because I've been, you know, pushing them in and letting it twist. Maybe that's why I only fit 2 in this originally. And then as it's compacted, I've just topped it up on the top. Maybe that's the reason it's gone that way. But they both look pretty much the same now, and they've both just been twisted in. This one looks a little bit lower. This one's got a micro tip in. So yeah, you can use the mini. What somebody else has done is they've sort of put in, you know, so that it does stick out like this. And then they've just used a pair of sharp scissors or a knife and just chop the glue dot off on the end to give it a flat tip. So you could do that, pop it in and then just chop any excess off and get rid. And then we have the micro glue dots. So the micro, you do tend to need more. Let me try this in a normal tip. Because I think these will take less. The normal sort of brass tips are likely to take less of a dot than the others are. Yeah, because that has sort of filled that up fully now for me. I would start working with that. And then I think it would potentially sink down a bit more and I'd need to put more in. Let's also try taking one off. This is where it's trying to get hold of it. Because they are small and they do like to stick to your finger. And then try pushing it in. And that, to me now, that just keeps coming in and out of the pen. Where did it go? There it is. That is just coming in and out of the pen tip. And I'm going to need loads more. Because I've rolled it up rather than letting it sit on the top of the pen. So let me try doing it. Yeah. So if I do it the way I did it before, which is by getting hold of the glue dot itself. Let's use this one. And sort of letting it catch on the end of the pen and sort of twisting it in. Twisting and pushing it in. Then you seem to get a little bit of a better finish on the end. Though you get a more compact if you roll it up. Now some people will roll them up into a ball. And they'll put it in and they'll let it get right to the bottom and then they'll put more in. I don't think there is, you know, one way that is the right way to do it. And I don't think there's one that's the wrong way to do it. I think the difference is if you do it by twisting the pen tip on the glue dot, your glue dot is more sat on the top. It's not down into the depths. I mean, say depths, you're talking millimetres. It's not down into the depths of your pen tip. So you may find that you do need to top it up. Now bear in mind, when I say top it up, it's not like wax. and you have to do it, you know, every few minutes. I found that I didn't have to top mine up until I was probably a quarter of the way through my 40 by 50. So I'd done a strip that was 10 centimetres by 40 centimetres before I needed to put that extra one in because it had sunk too much. And then I got another, I probably got half of it done, or 3/4 of it done, sorry, an additional half of it. About 3/4 of it done before I had to put that fourth one in. And then I doubt I'll have to put one in before the painting finishes. The only thing I do have found is that the glue dots can be quite sticky. So they can be, it can be at the point where they're a little bit stickier than the diamond you're putting down. So you find that your pen just pulls the diamond back off again. If that's the case, what you need to do is get the likes of an item of clothing and just dab your glue dot on it. And you will find that your glue dot doesn't feel sticky anymore, but believe me, it still is. If you then go to try it on a diamond, it is still sticky. See, that one's sticking out too much. I quite like the idea of the overfill and then the chopping the excess off and going from there. So maybe what I might do, because I've got both, is I might fill them up with mini dots, but if I find that they compact down and I need a bit more in it, then I'll use a micro dot to top it up. They didn't cost too much, to be honest, each of these. I just picked them off Amazon. They were £3 or £4 each. But yeah, you do need to make it lose a little bit of the sticky. So an item of clothing is the best thing, just because quite often you're wearing them, so you can just hit yourself with your pen for a bit and then go along diamond painting. If you find that the glue is sticking to the diamond, again, just pop it on your clothes, a couple of dabs on your top, and off you go again. And I find it takes, I don't want to give it a time frame because I know I do diamond paint quite quickly, but I do find that once I've first topped it up with the glue dots, it does take a little bit and a little bit of dabbing it on my clothes and going back to diamond painting to sort of prime the glue dot to its best. And then once it's primed, it's amazing how long you get without having to refill it, and it will keep going for ages. Like, you even forget that you may need to fill them up. What you can also do, if you do find that you've got one, you know, that's filled up quite nicely, it's full, and all of a sudden it's sort of losing a bit of its sticky, is you can use a pair of tweezers to sort of take out the glue dot. Let me find a pair of tweezers. So a bit like you would if you decided to take out your wax and refill it, is do the same with your glue dot, is take it out, but rather than refilling it, is pop it back in. So just squeeze your glue dot back in a different angle, prime it on your clothes again, off you go. And your glue dot will last. I say, I've not had to change one yet for a new one, and I've nearly finished a 40 by 50 that's used a glue dot the whole way through. I'll let you know if it becomes something that's a problem, but I do think I am going to be slowly but surely changing all my pens with all my multiple different types of tips into ones with glue dots. Because not only were you having to dip into the wax quite often to refill, but then you would end up losing bits on the painting that you'd have to brush off. I don't tend to find that with glue dots. So if it's something you can do, I do recommend you give it a go. Which ones you get is completely up to you. I like the idea of starting with mini dots and maybe moving to micro dots. But micro dots will do it on its own as well. And there are many things that work for different people, which I'm sure they'll pop in the comments down below, and you can pick and choose what things work for you. But don't give up on glue dots too early if you've tried them. They do take a little bit to prime, which you can do while you're diamond painting, so by just dabbing it on your clothes if they get a bit too sticky. But once you've got that sweet spot where, you know, you're popping the diamonds down and they come off and stick onto the canvas, that's it then. You will have that sweet spot for a good long time, or long time diamond painting wise, before you need to change things up again. So it is just worth that 2-3 minutes maybe of diamonds seeming to get a little bit more stuck. It's so worth it for, you know, the amount of time that you're not having to fill up your pen. And they're cheap enough, so why not? Anyway, that's enough waffling about glue dots. Thank you guys so much for watching. Do hit that subscribe button to hear what tip number 5 will be. But thank you so much for watching, and I'll speak to you all again soon.